Welcome to the fifth webinar in our Project Fundamentals series. My name's Tracy Abel and I'm the General Manager at Developmental Training Academy. Today's webinar closes out the concept stage of a project, and we're looking at establishing the project parameters, summarising them within a document called the Project Charter. So there's many documents when we refer to the project scope or concept. There's a scope statement, a business case, scope management plan, and a project charter. They all have different uses and different content. The project charter is generally one of the most comprehensive documents that you'll use in the concept stage of the development of a project. So what is a project charter? Comprehensive document incorporating the background and history of the project, the justification for rolling it out, the parameters, including the objective, stakeholders, inclusions, exclusions, and deliverables, any other projects that may impact or be impacted by this project, and risks, as well as a range of other relative information to that particular project. So there are usually 4 sections within a project charter. There's many templates out there, and different organisations redevelop them to suit their own individual projects. So section 1 consists of the basic information about the project itself. Then you get the background and the history, the specific details of the project, and any external or other factors that may influence the project. So let's start off with the basic information. This is a summary of the project detail. So if you have a look at that diagram there with the orange around it, we'd have the project title and number. Most organisations would have some sort of register or list of projects, and each one would be assigned its own number or code. This can be numerical or alphabetical or a combination of the two. It would have the person or people running the project, so a project coordinator or project manager. The person responsible for the project, that may be someone entirely different. It may include the sponsor and the client. It might include a governing body or other third parties. And the date that the information was compiled. So if you're going back through history, then you've got that date and you can refer to the relevance of that information. Now, the background information is the second segment of a project charter, and this provides valuable insight into the history itself. So you actually look at the history of how the project came about, who thought of it, where did the idea come from, where did the need arise. Then the reason that you're going to be doing the project, so to improve your return on investment, to increase your product range, and so on. The people involved in the project, so key stakeholders, the goal or goals of the project, the options that you've considered, so things that you've thought about including within a project and either discarded or moved forward with, the options that stakeholders have selected. Now this is quite important because this also includes the specific details your client or sponsor might like within a project. The importance of the project, is it urgent, is it important, can you put it on hold for a while, what's the actual urgency and requirements of the project. The benefits that the project will provide. Now, benefits can be different to the actual deliverables or the requests of the stakeholders. These could be internal benefits, such as giving an apprentice some hands-on work, building a house or building a frame for a house or something like that. And how the project will impact on other areas of the business. So if you proceed with this project, what other projects might need to be put on hold? Will you have enough staff to run the core business, and so on? The third component of a project charter are the project details themselves. So this is the basis of the upcoming project plan and the guidelines for the project itself. So what you actually need to deliver to your client, what's included within the project, what is not included within the project. So is or is not a site clean included? Landscaping products included, is fencing included if you're building a house, and so on. The project timeframes and important deadlines. This is quite crucial because there might actually be costs to you if you under or overstate these things. The proposed budget, usually based on your initial estimates or your work breakdown structure. The resources needed for a project. This could be human, this could be subject matter experts, it could be equipment, it could be computers, it could be materials, and so on. The external factors. These are factors from outside of the project which may affect the outcome. So what could restrict the project performance? What issues could you face? Is there potential legislative changes coming up, for example? Have you made any assumptions, such as assuming that key staff will be available on the days that you're running the project? Will it be affected by any other projects? And what risks could affect the project? So this would be the start of your risk management plan, which you develop later in the next phase. So that should provide you with an incredibly comprehensive summary of everything that you know to date on the development and implementation of the project. So this is the last step of the concept stage of your project lifecycle. So if you have a look at the lifecycle diagram there, which we addressed in our first webinar, it's the concept stage that we're focusing on. Once we've completed this particular document, it would have to go in an approval or authorization process. So for the project to move from concept to planning, approval from key stakeholders should be sought. Approval should be in writing or by electronic signature to ensure that the relevant stakeholders are taking responsibility for the details of the charter. Whoever approves it is responsible for it. So it takes the pressure off of the project manager to a certain extent and puts the responsibility back onto the clients and stakeholders. Authorization may or may not be given. It might be given on a conditional basis. So if you make the following changes, we will approve that project, or it might be given outright. So there's a sample of an authority to proceed section, and it has a number of options such as revise the project based on the recommendations and resubmit the charter, conduct a feasibility review to determine if it's viable, prepare a project plan based on the charter as it stands, prepare a project plan but include the recommendations listed, put the project on hold or cancel the project. So it's a real milestone to reach and move through this authorization phase, and it would be the end of a stage of a project. The next step is to prepare a thorough project plan. So you're looking then at summarising your scope, putting your budget and schedule together, communication, HR, quality procurement and risk management plans, all a part of a project plan. We'll be working through those in the next 8 weeks of our webinars. So that's it for this week. Next week we're doing an overview of planning, and then we'll break it down into individual plans and segments. Don't forget, from the 26th to the 28th of October this year, there will be a conference, Project Management in Plain English, and it also entitles those people who register to complete the certificate for project management practice for free after the conference in a web-based program. So thank you for your time, and I'll talk to you next week.